Visit Anthony'sDreamCollection.com for more information. That's Anthony'sDreamCollection.com.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Filling in this morning, it's Coach Brian Haddad.
Yeah!
Will you make me sweat?
Yeah!
Chili in the hot tub?
Yeah!
Will you make me wet?
Well, I'll give you one here.
Okay.
Joining us in the studio, Dr. Glenn Manley.
The exile from the school board.
Ex-Vietnam veteran.
Well, you're never an ex of that, right? But, oh, my goodness. As you heard on that bumper, thank you for that, Wildcat. I am Brian Haddad, sitting in for Coach James Hale on the sometimes known Coach James Hale Show here. You know, because, look, we are so close. High school football starts this week. Yeah. College football starts next week. The NFL in a couple of weeks. And, you know, what better time for Coach Hale to leave town?
There you go. Well,
right on cue. Right on cue.
There was a hurricane out over the Atlantic.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. So he's probably somewhere in Idaho by now. No, absolutely. But looking forward to, joining you guys here for 2 hours of radio mediocrity.
And what
Wednesday
an action-packed 2 hours.
We actually do. I mean, Wednesdays are always fun. We get to the phones quite a lot on Wednesday. 8:15, we're going to have Coach Jeremy Brown from the Bay. 7:15.
When you sit in that chair, see, it just takes over.
Well, you think sitting in this chair will just make you mispronounce names, not get time zones
It's
wrong.
tongue-tied.
All right, take two. 7:15.
Okay.
We're going to have Coach Jeremy Brown from the Bay High Tornadoes. They have a big game tomorrow night. We're not even waiting until Friday, Glenn.
There you go.
We're going to get it going tomorrow night. At 7:30, we're going to talk to Dr. John Ward. And then, of course, at 8:30, we're going to continue the Gator Day with Mark McLeod. I know that just makes Glenn's little tail wag when we talk Gator football.
A full hour of Gator stuff. What about that?
Exactly. So, great show lined up for us today. But we are going to start on this Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
We have a little local public service announcement that Dr. Manley's going to give us.
We do. I would like to say, be careful out there and guard your garbage can. I had a 50-gallon garbage can that's picked up by the city. I guess they kept it. They may be searching it. FBI
Have you paid your taxes?
Yeah, I have.
That'd be my first.
So, yesterday I came in and thanked my wife for picking up the trash can and put it in. She goes, "No, it's not there. I thought you picked it up." And I was like, "No." So we go out and everybody's trash can is out there.
Could be a homeless shelter by now.
It could be. It could be dumpster fodder. I don't know. I mean,
I'm pretty sure my first apartment was smaller than that garbage.
I know mine was.
I don't think this is an impulse steal. Why would you ride by? Oh, I like that can.
I don't know. They come up with some pretty fancy
Well, when you're legend like Glenn Manley, apparently you have really nice
go.
garbage cans.
So I was like, what?
Better start checking your bank account, because whoever sold your garbage can now has all your banking information.
Yeah, they could.
Your phone number, all of your doctor bills that you
I
paid.
do keep my checking account number on my trash can. So
No, I mean what was in the garbage.
No,
They
we
took the
shred-
can,
we
they
shred-
took the garbage.
Oh, I
learned to
shred
everything.
envelopes for crying out
we
loud.
shred everything because you never know who's looking for it.
That's right. So everybody in Bay County, be on the watch out for a garbage
You
can
want to
thief.
describe it so we can put an APB out on it?
It's a blue trash can with a Panama City seal on it,
Yeah.
and it actually has my address, which I'm not giving out publicly. But
Okay. It's got wheels on it?
it's got wheels on
Any
it.
distinguishing marks?
Yes, it's got scars where they've picked it up and squished it through.
And Axel's bitten a chunk out of it, and yeah, absolutely.
You know, speaking of being tongue-tied, sitting in the captain's chair.
Yes, sir.
On this day in history, the very first commercial radio station began broadcasting in 1920.
Was that KDKA?
That I didn't get.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
And consequently,
look, when I actually did a 10 class in college, I think that's the one I remember was the first one, but I don't know if it was actually the first commercial.
Well, if it began with a K, it would have been out west. It would have been west of the Mississippi if they begin with a K.
I want to say
east of Mississippi, they begin with a W.
I thought it was KDK, but I don't remember.
Well, Brian actually was one that went to class virtually before anybody else ever thought of it.
Of course, I was in a fraternity, so KDKA could have been a swap I attended somehow by mistake.
KDKA. That sounds like a girl's name to me.
There you go.
That he couldn't pronounce because he was too drunk.
Just
and
initials.
also on this
Allegedly.
day, on this day, oddly enough, now think about this for just for a second,
Okay.
no longer. On this day in history, the Football Association was officially formed in 1920, same year, which later became the NFL.
I thought maybe they put Alabama
radio,
first, right? They are right off the bat.
Radio, football, ESPN, here we are. Look what we've done to both of those institutions.
Yeah, who they anointed as national champion, we may get into a little bit later because we've got some fun stories as it relates to that.
That's all I got. I'm going home.
Is that where Who Dat started? Who Dat's number one?
Well, look, this is my favorite time of the year because now we get to get back into what I absolutely look. I love talking college football, but what I really have always loved about this show is all of the attention we give to the local sports. And we're back in school now, and we actually have some of this again. We're finally here. Glenn, take it away.
All right. Volleyball yesterday. It was Bay High 3, Mariana 0. It was Chipley 3, Arnold 0, and it was Freeport 3, Fort Walton Beach 0. So it started.
Week of sweeps.
And then, all the I guess you'd call them fall sports are starting. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Tommy Oliver Stadium, over by Coach Manley practice field.
Yes, sir.
On a Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Okay.
Arnold is at Bay, so that will be a nice one. That's always a county rivalry thing. On Friday night, Franklin.
Loyalty counts.
Yeah. I didn't realize Central, I remember Central, they must have started football this year over there north of Milton.
Okay.
Franklin County's at Central. That's at 7:30 Friday night. Sneeds is at Cottondale, 7 o'clock Friday night. Chipley at North Florida Christian on a Friday night. Rutherford will be at Tommy Oliver on Friday playing the Dolphins. Starts at 7. Bozeman's at Holmes County. That starts at 7. That's on Friday. Gulf Breeze is at South Walton playing on that new field. They didn't.
Nice.
South Walton didn't get to play Mosley last week because of the weather.
That's
so,
right.
So it had to be bad.
Boy, everything I heard is that is a beautiful
It is,
facility.
and it had to be bad weather not to play on that turf field because the water wouldn't start. So anyway, that's where you guys practice swimming, in on that turf field with all the water. So
well, I think during the hurricane we went for anything we could find.
North Bay Haven is at Freeport. That's at 7. Gracefield is at Weewa. That's at 7. I'm glad Gracefield's back this year.
Yes,
for the football team.
yes, absolutely.
And Walton is at Mariana. That's at 7. So congratulations to all those people going on there. And it's starting, folks. Get out there and support everybody you can. And oddly enough, Port St. Joe was open the first week. How Coach Tanner Jones, man.
I certainly wouldn't want that.
No,
you
no,
want it,
no.
To be a break, somewhere in there. But
all the new, I forgot the kid's name that passed away.
Yeah.
They have started a thing now. Everybody they're going to have to go get an EKG and things because it's called second chance. So
look, and I actually, the client teams that I represent in the Southeast, we actually had one team in Nashville. Now, to be fair, they have 600 athletes, so there's a lot of numbers there. But this past year, they had 2. Now, neither was in swimming. Both were doing cross-country events. Mm-hmm. 2 teenagers, relatively healthy, die, heart issues. We don't know. I'm not going to get into what it could or couldn't be because I don't know. Right. It could just be a weird coincidence, but it just seems like heart arrhythmia and things like that is becoming more and more prevalent amongst young people, and it could be 50 different reasons. It could be shots. It could be vaccines. It could be whatever. It could be genetic as it goes forward. We just don't know. But the fact is that this screening, you're not going to catch absolutely everything, but you might catch 1 or 2. And, I know it's an old cliche, but if it saves just one life, it's worth it. And that's the truth, especially somebody with so much, potential ahead of them. I've made 1,000 mistakes already. Well, if I go over now, it's fine. But
go back to last year when that football player passed out of a heart condition right on the field.
That's right.
We're talking about.
And you think these guys are the epitome of health, and all of a sudden, so I think it's a good thing.
It's something good came out of it. I know it does not help the family that much other than, this is something that did come out of it. But, Port St. Joe has been such a great school. And
absolutely.
Such a great town. And they've really followed their sport. So if you haven't been to a WeWa Port St. Joe game, that's one of the things you need to go to.
Oh, yeah. And before you go out to Taco Bell.
Yes, right.
They love those Tiger Sharks down there at Port St. Joe. But so, Glenn, kind of piggybacking on everything local that we're talking about here, maybe give us a little behind the scenes, since I have heard you were involved with, local schools and athletics for, a couple of years or something like that.
He did something around.
Apparently not worth naming a field after, but whatever.
He took care of the problem.
But, walk us through kind of what the first, we've been in school, a week and a half now?
Yep.
Walk us through what those first couple of weeks are like, maybe as it relates to sports and certainly as an athletic director, a.k.a. fireman.
Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't just start when school starts. You're going back to when football starts, or when all the fall sports can start practicing. All the paperwork has to be in before they can practice. Okay, the state has come along, and instead of just the coaches looking at certain videos, all the students, all the athletes have to look, and they have to sign up, and then you get a certificate, and you have to turn that into the coach. And so, that's one of the things. And now you put this computer age is great. Too bad I wasn't there when I first started, but now the physicals actually belong to the student and the parent, so they can put it online. So the team or the school has it. And so you just keep it in a file. And so, say a coach goes, you go out for a sport. If you don't have it right with you, they can go on and pull it off of there and put it in a document themselves. And so all that has to be done for all the sports that start in the fall. And that's fall softball, that's fall baseball. Okay. Wow. That's golf, which they actually start earlier. That's swimming, that's, cross country, volleyball. So, and then football, which is varsity, JV, sometime 9th grade. So all that goes on. Okay. The way the weather's been, in the summer, the gym is used more than any time in the whole year. So you have a gym schedule. All right, so if your schedule uses from 9 to 11, and somebody's outside and it starts thundering and lightning, most people share, but sometimes it's hard. If you have volleyball practice, most of the time the net is across the middle of the court the whole court, but you can turn it. And then we have a curtain at Bay that drops down, and I think the other schools do too, but, the coaches really have to cooperate.
Yes.
And you have to have a schedule for everything. Like yesterday, all of a sudden it starts raining. There's a volleyball game at Bay, so that starts at 5, so you have to set the court up. So I don't know if they went just to watch film on that, you know. And then, of course, you have to make sure that all the teams, the coaches, know that if humidity's too high, You know, you have to have all your kids registered with FHSAA.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just goes on constantly. And then with all that going on, you still have to make sure you help with the buses, you help with their transportation budget, you make sure that they have the money in their budget to do certain things. You have to keep a running total of all their travel expense, their in-school budget. You have to make sure the Booster Club has certain laws to follow.
Sure.
You know, and so it's unbelievable, you know, the amount of just paperwork. And so what I was trying to do, and I don't know if they're going to do it, and I don't know if this is up to the principal or not because I've been out of it for so long, but AD really and truly should not have classes. Because I
agree.
You know, when I went in...
It is a true full-time gig.
It is. And when I went in there in 22, 23, I had to go from a paper to digital.
Right.
All right. And so then I had... I didn't have any classes because they only hired me to be the AD, even though I had a teaching certificate. But I had to have a coaching certificate to be the AD, which I wasn't going to coach anything. But so you have to fiddle with the state and all those, and then you have to go through whatever the county wants you to do. And so the county, they do a good job on some things, but they're kind of notorious for dropping things on you like 3 or 4 days before.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Before
Spice of life.
Season starts.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. So anyway, it's, so you have to be on top of that.
Yeah.
I know the first thing I went in was turn on my computer. I looked at everything on my calendar. I went to the FHSA website to see what was due, and then, because you have all these rosters, you have all the stuff that's due, and the county wants things, which, I understand. And but all that takes place. And I used to tell my parents and say, don't call me after 12 o'clock and don't call me before 5. But other than that, and then when I
was going to say all that's without even looking at your emails or your voicemails yet.
Plus, when I used to go on the road to watch teams, I would turn my phone off.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, so I could just have some peace and quiet. But then when I got there and turned it on, it'd have 50 or 60 messages. So anyway, they work hard, and the teachers work hard. If you don't think it's not hard to go in a classroom for 90 minutes and have a subject area, it's unbelievable. So, anyway,
I mean, if you can hold a kid's attention for 90 seconds.
I just fell off my soapbox. There you go.
Like doing a radio show.
Well, I'm just glad we're back into local sports. And coming up next, we're going to have Coach Jeremy Brown of the Bay High Tornadoes to talk about just that, the opening kick of football in this area will be tomorrow night. They're at Tommy Oliver against Arnold. So that's coming up next. Right now, we need to talk about our fantastic sponsors on the show. And Glenn, it's Wednesday. It's time to get that bib out because we're going to J. Michael's Restaurant. Look, every day of the week, they've got the coldest beer. They've got the best seafood, the best atmosphere around, but only on Wednesdays.
Yes,
Dino gets back there in the kitchen and he just fires up that spaghetti. See, he's been to the jug this morning.
That's right, already.
Spaghetti.
That's right.
Spaghetti,
so,
I love it.
Absolutely. World famous J. Michael Spaghetti. Get out there today. Get there early because they will pack up. Dr. Chad Mitchell, Orthopedic Associates here. If you've got any kind of injury, go to the person. We're about to start a season here, the 26th season. Dr. Chad Mitchell has been on the sidelines helping the athletes of this county. If you've got some kind of injury, one of your joints, things like that, go see the person that all of our local athletes trust, and that is Dr. Chad Mitchell. He did a great job filling in on Monday for our absent host, as well. And then, John, football season's about to start.
Yep.
The two, things that you have to make sure that you take care of when football season's going, because the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is, leave me alone, dear, I'm watching the game. So you need to make sure you have a great couch. And the other thing is you're probably going to have to buy a makeup present. And where can we do that?
You absolutely are going to have to do that. I'm sure that device has a name, but if you get in trouble, boys and girls, well, just the boys, if you get in trouble, all you got to do is go to David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Highway 77. Tell them you want something specifically made just for her, and they can help you create it, and then your troubles are over with. That's David Adamson, Designer Jewelry, 830 Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
You can tell who's not married. Shut up.
I said leave me alone, but I ain't that dumb. Well, we got a tornado warning coming up next. Coach Jeremy Brown, you are listening to the Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
And the first player to win 5 straight times on the PGA Tour in consecutive years since Tiger Woods back in 06 and 07. And I know it sounds blasphemous to say, put Scottie Scheffler and Tiger Woods in the same conversation. If you're looking at Tiger at his Tiger-ish, Scottie is at least close.
It's the Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour and temps near 89. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the morning followed by possible thunderstorms tomorrow and a high 89. Likely thunderstorms and sprinkles Friday with a temp of 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
When it comes to backyard dreams, trust the name that's been making waves for over 65 years. Cox Pools. Serving the entire Florida Panhandle, Cox Pools brings experience, innovation, and quality to every custom pool design. From luxurious spas to resort-style pools, no vision is too big. Make your backyard the place to be with Cox Pools. Cox Pools, 65 years strong and still making a splash. Visit coxpools.com or call 850-235-7957.
In a world full of noise, one name cuts through it all.
Amplify AI.
We help HVAC, plumbing, and home service pros get found fast. More leads, more calls, more results. This ain't just marketing. It's powerful.
Amplify AI.
Hear the roar.
Call Lee at 850-299-1269. Amplify AI.
That bear ain't just for show.
When he played football, helmets had not been invented yet. Players played both sides, and quarterbacks weren't afraid of needles. It's the Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Well, what an appropriate song to bring us back in because
football music.
No more practice, no more camps, no more jamborees. It is time to put the ball into the air to start the regular season. We've got a tornado warning here on a Wednesday morning, and we are joined by Coach Jeremy Brown of the Bay Tornadoes. Coach, how are we doing on this Wednesday?
Man, I'm doing outstanding, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing
good.
Great, doing great.
I was a little interested yesterday when it rained and lightning. How did y'all navigate that? I know it was a volleyball game supposed to start.
Well, it actually worked out great because the volleyball team was on the road. They were at Mariana.
Oh, okay, good.
We were able to get in the gym and we left the helmets and shoulder pads on and actually had pretty much a live thud practice. Stayed off the ground, but we were full speed to contact, and so we really got to really work on our timing and stuff. So it kind of worked out as opposed to if it had been a home game or no volleyball game, we'd have possibly had to share the gym. We wouldn't have been able to get as much done.
Coach, they always say that, you do the most learning from game 1 to game 2, and you're going to have, I guess, an extra day because you're starting the season on a Thursday, tomorrow night against Arnold there. Everybody's itching to get that first game going like that. Do you like having that Thursday game to start it and then get maybe that extra day before you see Mosley next week?
Yeah, it kind of, at the beginning of the season this year, it kind of worked out. We played Niceville on a Thursday, so it gave us an extra prep day to, get back Friday and go ahead and get that film study out of the way. And then we play again this Thursday, so it kind of turns into kind of a normal, your normal amount of prep time as opposed to, playing on a Friday and then turning around and having to play on a Thursday. And it'll give us a chance, this week, obviously, the business at hand, taking care of, getting out there and hoping to play well against Arnold. taking care of business there, and then we'll at least Friday night since the game's here, we'll at least get to go and we're going to go sit in the stands and watch the Mosley and Rutherford game. Even though we'll get the film, sometimes just watching it live, you can pick up some stuff and maybe grab a few tendencies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard to judge speed when you're watching it on the video.
100%. There is no doubt.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, Coach, talk us a little bit about some of your guys. Now, are you completely healthy for Thursday night?
Yeah, we are. We're healthy. We've had a really good couple of days of practice. We're excited to get to see our guys go out there. Ken Pate didn't play last week against Niceville, our tight end, and he also plays linebacker. He didn't dress against Niceville. Held him out. He was a little dinged up, and so we held him out. So getting him back is going to be huge. There's some things on offense that formations that we just flat out didn't run last week because he wasn't able to play. So we're excited to get him back, and outside of that, man, we're healthy, and as you want to be at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, Coach, I got kind of like a two-part question. First of all, my question is, why didn't you just play the Green Bay Packers last Thursday instead of Niceville? And then the other thing is, how does Arnold look to you? Are you prepared? Do they have anything different than they might have done last year?
The whole idea of playing Niceville. My first year there, we played Enterprise, which is one of the, they've been really good over the last 4 years. With Coach Blackman up there, and then we played Niceville the last 3 years, and we do it just to, we want to see where we're at, going into the season. You know what I mean? We want to, not just necessarily try to schedule a win, but schedule a team that you're going to go in. They're going to be coached, they're going to be prepared. The environment's electric. Kind of prepared for down the road, and exposing some things that you might not get exposed on. If you tried to, quote unquote schedule a win. So that's the whole reasoning behind Niceville. As far as Arnold, man, I think they're probably. I know they are. They're better than they were last year. That coaching staff has had, has now had over a year with those guys. Last year, they got in kind of late, and in the off season they've had a full off season with them. The quarterback is special. He can play anywhere. And then the Darren Elder kid, the receiver DB, their number 3. He's one of the better athletes in the county. I think they've got a little bit more athleticism out wide than they had last year. And their defensive line is what jumped out to us on film. Like their 2 defensive ends are legit. I mean, they can play, and their 2 interior tackles, man, they do a great job of throwing hands and covering linemen up. And so we're going to have to play really well to get out of there with a win.
Coach, it's one of those interesting things where you start with such a big game against a team that, had a great season last year. And like you say, they may very well be better this year. Week 1 is probably when you have the absolute least information on your opponents, but by the same token, they've probably got the least information on you. Do you like having a big game kind of in that setting where you feel like it's just, you just kind of take care of your game, go out and play, or does it make it that much harder on you not having a lot of film, not having a lot of information on your opponent?
Yeah, I think, obviously, the first game, I think it all depends on who you're playing, with Arnold and their coaching staff. We kind of know what they want to do on offense and defense. I think it's the same thing with us. I mean, we've played against others when we've all been at other schools, and they have an idea of what our, kind of what our identity is on offense, what we want to do on defense. I think the big thing about playing a game, like this early, a rivalry game, you don't have to worry about getting your kids locked in. You don't have to worry about their focus. Like, they take these games extremely personal, and so that's the positive side of it. Is you're gonna go out there week 1 and you're gonna get your kids' absolute best effort. You know what I mean? And if you can get that, you can live with the result.
Yeah, Coach. Hopefully, I'm going to go back to the Niceville. You know, when you go in there, they have a new coach, so they were all fired up to show that he's good. You know, but the other thing too is I hope they wrote you a big check so you can come home and buy more equipment.
Yeah, Coach. Coach, this is no exaggeration. Coach, there was over 5,000 people at the kickoff class in Niceville last night.
Well,
it was one of the. I mean, when I was in Jefferson County and we played a couple of those playoff games the year we won the state championship, I mean, we had some large crowds, and Coach, there was well over 5,000 people at that game. I mean, it was just. And Coach Morgan, man, he seems like a really great guy. I got to meet him before the game, talked to him after the game, and he's going to do a phenomenal job over there. And you know, obviously, you know, Niceville, they have players every year. I mean, they've got linemen and skill guys, and so I mean, he's going to keep that train rolling over there. I really believe.
Did y'all have to go up through the stands to get to your locker room?
Coach, we changed it up this year. We got there. We took school buses. We got there just in time. We went straight from the school bus to the field. We never even went in the locker room.
Good.
We stayed down on the field, did halftime on the field after the game. We just wore our pants, our game pants over there. And after the game, the kids took their pads off and put on a dry shirt. And we walked back up to the buses, got a couple of slices of pizza, and got on the bus and came home.
Great, because we used to call them Nastyville when we had to walk up through that crowd there. So, but Coach, good. You know, Josh Wright goes to Arnold as the defensive coordinator now, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what I was saying earlier. With Coach Wright, and the years he was at Arnold before, and at Bozeman, and when Coach Griffin was at Arnold before he went to Bozeman, and now he's back at Arnold, and when Griff was at Rutherford, like we've all played against each other, you know what I mean? And so we all have our tendencies and our philosophies and our kind of what we hang our hat on, and so that goes into the to the preparation, and that's why playing a game like this early on is more of a positive than a negative, because you can kind of gauge what we're all going to do. Now it's just a matter of going to our kids and getting them saying, hey guys, this is what's going to happen. You just got to go perform. You got to go play. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they're telling their kids the same thing.
Yeah. Well, Coach, absolutely good luck to you tomorrow night. Cannot wait to get it started. And, folks, make sure you get out there and pack those stands for these athletes. You heard it, 5,000 people at the Jamboree game. We need to do at least that at Tommy Oliver. So good luck to you, Coach, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too.
That's the great Coach Jeremy Brown there of the Bay Tornadoes. Got a big one tomorrow night, and I mean it. Get out there. Look, I didn't grow up in this area. I love going out to these high school football games to really just watch and enjoy them. It's the cheapest form of entertainment you're going to get and the best form of entertainment you're going to get. I mean, where else can you go see a football game for, less than $10?
Yeah.
Whereas NFL would be like $10,000, I think, to go to a game now.
Mortgage your house.
Exactly. But get out there and support those guys. Get this season off on the right foot. Arnold versus Bay. Almost said Mosley. I'd have gotten in trouble there. Arnold versus Bay at Tommy Oliver tomorrow night, 7 p.m., I would imagine.
Yes, sir. That's
time.
it.
So get it done there. All right, let's talk about a couple more of our sponsors here. Dat Cajun Place. Ooh, I can't wait to get back in there, because when the games are on, 50-cent wings, and I'm talking the best wings in this area. I will be there taking up way too much space and having way too many plates in front of me. But get out to Dat Cajun Place. I know I'll be there Saturday. And even if there aren't any games this weekend, I'll still be there.
There you go.
So Dat Cajun Place, get out there and tell them you heard about it right here. TK Vandy Roofing. If you've got any kind of issue with your roof, talk to the Vandegriffs. They're absolutely wonderful job. Kyle was on here. I almost said Josh, because I remember Josh as the AD.
Yep.
But Kyle was on here with us Friday. Does a wonderful, wonderful job there.
Be here
and of
this
course,
Friday too, I think.
Being this Friday, outstanding. I mean, we'll probably won't have the host back this Friday again, but well, whatever. His
I thought you were going to be.
Yeah, his name's on the thing. Maybe I am. I don't know. Wherever the car takes me. But no, absolutely. You got any kind of issue with your roofing, anything like that, make sure you call Kyle and the folks there at TK Vandy Roofing. And coming up next, we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dr. John Ward, dermatology specialist. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Are you sick of the old sports talk? The vanilla opinions? The polite debates? The hosts who are afraid to say what they really think? So are we. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is bringing the house. It's the new Sports Blitz.
Weekdays, 4 to 6.
We're starting arguments, not conversations. The Sports Blitz.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
Get ready to connect. ESPN Northwest Florida is thrilled to introduce the newest rock stars to the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Beach Chamber. K Marines Construction, D.R. Horton, America's Builder, Colonial East, Griffiths Group at eXp Realty, and nonvaluation.ai.
We're here to champion your success and connect you with this amazing community.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida.
And the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce, reaching Bay County and beyond.
This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio.
Wow. Getting a little funky here on a Wednesday.
Got you, man. I got you.
Glenn Travolta over here.
Oh, that's an anytime.
You need to check us out on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, not usually. You have to see my ugly face. But Glenn was throwing a little dance down there.
There you go.
Yeah, he just did a split. Good Lord. But anyway, he stuck, but, you know.
Yeah, give me up.
Is that a moonwalk or did he just fall down?
What's that dance where you're clutching at your chest and you're just writhing on the ground? Oh. But anyway, guys, we're going to try and get Dr. Ward here on the line with us here in just a little bit. Maybe he doesn't play around with a substitute teacher here, we'll see. But I do want to get into this because I've had so much fun reading this because I knew this would elicit some fun. And if you'd like to join us on the line, if we can't get Dr. Ward, you can give us a call, 215-6290. But I'm going to read this, Glenn. After years of consideration and debate, Auburn football will now recognize 7 additional national championships, bringing the program's total to 9, the school confirmed on Tuesday. 9. Each claimed championship represents an Auburn team that was awarded the national championship in a particular poll or service. Those years include 1910, 13, 14, 58, 83, 93, and 2004. Now, those add to the already recognized titles that we all know from 1957 and 2010. For far too long, Auburn has chosen a humble approach to our program's storied history, choosing to recognize only Associated Press national championships, said athletic director John Cohen. Turncoat traitor, left Mississippi State. In a statement, sorry. That was my part, not the story.
How you really feel that.
Yeah, exactly. Starting this fall, we have made a decision to honor the accomplishments of our deserving student athletes, coaches, and teams from Auburn's proud history. I have to admit, when I first saw this story, I thought, first of all, it's not April. What the heck's going on? Right. And I thought, is this from The Onion? Now, this is legitimate. I mean, it really is. So, look, I'm nothing if not self-aware. I mean, I've been called self-delusional. I'm sorry. But self-aware. So as an Alabama fan, there's nobody who gets criticized more for claiming, the Wonder Bread National Championship of 1937, or I'm sure LSU claims a Boudreaux's Butt Paste National Championship from, some point. But obviously there were a lot of entities that gave out national championship designations, typically the ones that have been recognized have been the Associated Press or maybe the UPI before, we got into the BCS and, the coalition and the playoff and everything else that we've done. But let's go through each one of these rankings here that Auburn is now going to claim a national championship for, bringing their total to 9. 1910, record was 6-1. Head coach Mike Donahue. The awarding parties were Maxwell ratings and college football rankings. That was a retroactive one. So, Glenn, you were, a senior in high school that year?
Yeah,
How was that one? You remember that one?
Yeah, I remember going to it. It was a lot of fun. Not much throwing the football. It was like just line up and crush each other. So.
Yeah, 6-1.
Yeah, they almost outlawed football because of all that.
That's right. So in 1913, Auburn went undefeated, again, under Coach Mike Donahue. The awarding party was Billingsley.
Wow.
Is that a department store? I mean, what in the world was that?
It could be. Who knows?
It sounds like.
Yeah, well, there we go. Hey, back-to-back champions, Auburn. 1913, 1914, 8-0-1. Mike Donahue, again, the head coach. So he now has 3 national championships. Congratulations, Coach Donahue. Although he probably passed on 100 years
I bet he's got a field name.
What years were those?
1910, 13, and 14.
Okay. So
he won 3 out of 5.
How many football teams were there?
Well, who knows?
Apparently there was
at least one.
There was 9. It was 8-0-1.
Okay.
But James Howell's power ratings awarded the national championship in 1914.
Did you say Howell or Hale?
Howell. Yeah, exactly. No, I think Hale is one of Alabama's 37.
There you go.
In 1958, now granted, this is coming out of one of their nationally recognized ones in 1957, Coach Shug Jordan went 9-0-1 defending the national championship. I love this one. They were awarded the national championship by the Montgomery Full Season Championship.
Wow. Montgomery Ward, maybe?
40 miles down the road. I'm quite sure they did award Auburn the national championship. That's like the Tuscaloosa News giving Alabama one.
There you go.
In 1983, I do remember this one, 11-1, head coach Pat Dye. Oh, my God. This might not be good. The awarding party, the New York Times, that won't go very far in this area, Rothman and the College Football Researchers Association. I mean, that was a good team. Obviously, I think that year you had Miami, played Nebraska for what was considered the national championship. Miami, I think, lost the very beginning of the year to Florida, if I'm not mistaken, and then went the rest of the way and beat an undefeated Nebraska. But that was a great team Coach Dye had in 83. In 1993... they were not able to win because they were on probation, but Coach Terry Bowden in his first season went undefeated, 11-0, and they were awarded the national championship by the National Championship Foundation.
Oh.
Didn't know there was one of those, but all right, there's another one. And then in 2004, we remember Auburn was the team left out. I'm trying to remember who played for it that year. Was it Penn State and... oh, God, I can't. No, maybe it wasn't Penn State. USC and somebody. But, Oklahoma, I think, maybe. I can't remember. Somebody will know. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. But Auburn went 13-0 in 2004. If I remember right, that was with the backfield of Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown. Great team. Coach Tommy Tuberville, current senator, soon to be governor, and has the largest ears of any human I've ever seen in my life. They were awarded the national championship in 2004 from Darryl Perry, just some guy with a blog, I guess, at that point, and the GBE college football ratings. So congratulations, Auburn fans. We now have 9 national championships. I mean, we've had some fun joking about this a little bit, Glenn, but in and of itself, as much as we criticize the playoffs and everything like that, it's things like this that got us to where we are. Is it, as much as we want to keep tweaking and keep perfecting and whatever, is it better now that we truly do have champions decided on the field, or do we like all the other nonsense in the arguments?
Well, it's a little closer to getting one because, when you go back a few years when they mythical championship, depended on, I thought maybe it was a popularity contest of who could see the most votes, The other thing, too, now is if you noticed, I think the Big Ten is thinking about 24 to 28 they're trying to work up some kind of a schedule for that. So that's kind of in the shadows back there. But I just think it's a little bit better, but you're never going to make everybody happy.
That's right.
Because if you get 12, number 13 or 14, they're not happy if you know. And then the two big conferences, SEC and the Big Ten, who have the most money and seem to have the two top schedules, then they're not happy if they don't get at least 4. So that's 2/3 of your 12 teams. So
yeah.
But,
I guess the thing for me is I wonder why now. I mean, is this just because we can't wait 2 weeks until we actually start seeing game? We need to keep talking about something. Don't get me wrong. We got 15 minutes out of it this morning. But, I mean.
I don't know. Well, you got to sell magazines. You got to have.
I guess so.
Everybody has to have an opinion. And for
make that bank, baby. Make that bank.
And here's what I love. If you're Auburn, go big, baby.
Right.
Don't just say we're going to claim 2004. No, we're taking 7 more. Mike Donahue should now be in the Hall of Fame if he's not. He's got 3 national championships.
If you want him, you got to take him.
Look, I think it's hilarious. And like I said, as an Alabama fan growing up, we heard that all the time. And it's 100% true. We claimed any national championship we could find anywhere in the world. If the Butte, Montana Gazette gave it, heck yeah, man, we would take it. So, good for Auburn. I think it's interesting. I think it's funny. But it also, look, I didn't realize Auburn had some undefeated seasons, in the 1910s. I mean, it's kind of neat to learn a little bit about it. I had no idea they went 8-0-1 coming out of the national championship.
In 1910, we didn't even know Pluto was a planet. So good.
We don't anymore.
There was no commercial radio until 1920.
That's correct. We learned that early.
No
NFL.
No NFL. No social media.
Yeah.
How do we get along without that?
Oh, my gosh.
Really, really well.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's talk about some more of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. You want the absolute best Mexican that you can get anywhere down here in Panama City Beach. You need to get out and see the folks at El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. They have great lunch specials. They have great drink specials. They have Glenn laying on the floor that you have to step over.
They can outline it.
Trying to do the moonwalk.
TVs everywhere. You can check out all the games and enjoy some great, great food at El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Turf Pro Pest Control. Patrick and the crew will make your yard be the talk of the neighborhood for all the right reasons. Get rid of those unwanted pests and critters. And children. No, I'm kidding. No children. But they will take care of it. Patrick did a great job hosting the show for us yesterday. Having to put up with the Buckeye boys there with Jim and Jason, but Patrick usually on with us every Monday, I believe, with Doc Mitchell, but did a great job sitting in with the crew, and he is the best at making your yard look absolutely wonderful. So call the fine folks at Turf Pro Pest Control. Speaking of Jason, Max Fit Sports Nutrition. You want to get bigger, stronger, faster. You want to look better. You want to feel better. You need to go to the expert. Jason and his crew are absolutely wonderful in knowing exactly what it's going to take for you to live your best life. You have an athlete who's trying to get bigger, stronger, faster. They will put you onto all the right products, and you can try them, Glenn, before you buy them.
Absolutely.
At their sample bar there. So you've got 2 great locations for Max Fit Sports Nutrition. You got one there in Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods, and one on 23rd Street in the Del Coronado Shopping Center. Make sure you get out and see Jason and get to feeling better, looking better, and just being generally healthier.
Absolutely.
When we come back, some more unhealthy sports conversation and hopefully your phone calls. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Anyway, I found a clip that Glenn Manley might tell you a little something about it if he knew about it. I think he did, because I was trying to break the world record of throwing an egg toss and catch. The 4th egg I threw was 304 feet. The world record was 350.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour and temps near 89. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the morning followed by possible thunderstorms tomorrow and a high 89. Likely thunderstorms and sprinkles Friday with a temp of 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200 plus entertainment and news networks, or watch thousands of movies on demand, all for just $45 a month when you use the ESPN NW promo code at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Scorpion TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Scorpion TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Scorpion TV logo. Don't forget our promo code ESPN NW.
For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael studio.
Sing it, Glenn. Hey! 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 Gary Glitter. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Glitz and glamour.
That is so weird that you remember that.
Yeah.
Was that a one-hit wonder?
Well, he was a two-hit wonder. He was a one-hit wonder with music, and then the second hit was when he made the news for going to jail for liking little ones.
But I don't remember this.
So he was a two-hit wonder. But yeah. So anyway, we'll try and move past that. See, that's what happens when you let the substitute teacher in.
There you go.
Brian Haddad sitting in for a vacationing Coach James Hale, who was fresh off his last vacation.
Well, he had to
recuperate.
He needed a break from his vacation.
Here at the Coach James Hale Show, Dr. Glenn Manley and the Wildcat joining us here on this fine Wednesday morning in a week where we are going to start high school football. But we're still a little bit away from college football, and I did want to get into this. And again, we would love to hear from you. Take your phone calls.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And you to talk about college football.
Okay, let's go.
But for our NFL fans, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is going to put a butt in the seat, especially if you're a Jacksonville Jaguars football fan.
Okay.
Coming up soon, we'll give you more details on how you can win a pair of tickets to every home Jacksonville Jaguars football game.
Wow.
So keep it right here. We'll keep you posted. 104.3, and if you're real smart, you just go ahead and jot this number down, 850-215-6290, because that phone number will probably have something to do with winning the tickets.
There you go.
I don't know how the contest is going to go. But
well, hey, if you were a Jags fan, want to go see the Jags this season, make sure you keep it locked in right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Or give us a call if your alma mater wants to claim 7 or 8 national championships. We'd love to hear from you here on the show. Well, let's get into ESPN released their list of the top 100 players for college football. Now, we're not going to do 100, but I do want to go through the top 20 here. And we're going to start at 20 with a name that Florida State fans will drive off the road when they hear. The last name, it is Mateo Uiagalelei. or ukulele, as we dubbed him years ago. But I don't. It's got to be a relation. But he is a defensive end, and he is sitting at number 20. At number 19, a name we're more familiar with here, quarterback Lenoris Sellers, sophomore from South Carolina. Had a great year last year for a very surprisingly good South Carolina team, and they have a lot of expectations this year. At number 18, we're going to stay in the SEC, and we're going to go Keldrick Falk, defensive end from Auburn. A junior, last year had 30 solo tackles, 7 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. So, at number 17, guy I thought might be a little bit higher, Drew Aller, quarterback from Penn State. A lot of the reason why Penn State is getting the love that they're getting preseason, either number 2 or number 3, depending on which poll that you look at. But Drew Aller will be key if Penn State does make a deep playoff run. At number 16, the hype train is on. John Mateer, quarterback, Oklahoma. He is a junior transfer in from Washington State. Had a wonderful, wonderful season last year. Obviously has a ton of expectations around him. Has a little bit of a hiccup there with some of the gambling accusations and things like that, especially seeing as how he's underage. But assuming that stuff all settles itself out, there's certainly a lot of hype around John Mateer. At number 15, we're going to stay with Penn State senior running back Nick Singleton. Again, Penn State is loaded offensively. Their defense lost a lot, so we're going to have to see how that goes. But this guy, he's the real deal. Speaking of real deals, number 14, I think he should be higher. Offensive tackle, Caden Proctor for Alabama. 6'7", 366. He's kind of big. Last year, he had in 639 snaps, he had 54 knockdown blocks. So Caden Proctor at 14. Leonard Moore, Notre Dame sophomore DB, is at 13. One of the reasons Notre Dame made it to the national championship game a year ago. At number 12, our second Alabama entry on the list, sophomore wide receiver Ryan Williams. So he was everything first 6 games of the year last year. As a 17-year-old at the time, he had 48 catches for 865 yards and 8 TDs one season ago. Number 11, Texas sophomore defensive end Colin Simmons. Starting to see why the SEC is as good as it is and has so many players drafted. Let's get to the top 10 here, Glenn. Our second South Carolina Gamecock on the list, Dylan Stewart, sophomore defensive end. Last year, 17 solo tackles, 6.5 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles as a freshman. So expecting a lot out of Dylan Stewart. Stay in the state of South Carolina. Number 9 is Peter Woods, Clemson junior defensive lineman. 32 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. Number 8, Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback, LSU. I can't believe he's only a junior. Seems like he's been there for 40 years. But he is the SEC's leading returning passer, throwing for over 4,000 yards last year. I was thinking about the 1910 team. And then 29 touchdowns. So a lot expected out of Garrett Nussmeier. Offensive lineman Spencer Fano from Utah. He only allowed 1 sack and only had 1.6 blown block percentage. Man, they'll make a stat for anything. Clemson gets another defensive lineman in the top 10. A lot of why their hype is so high. T.J. Parker, junior defensive lineman for the Clemson Tigers. 64 tackles, 19.5 tackles for loss, and 11 sacks, Glenn. Whoa. Quite a productive player. Notre Dame's second player in the top 10. This is boiling down to about 8 teams here.
Right.
Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame running back junior. He was great last season. 1,100 yards, 19 TDs, average 6.9 yards per carry. It's like high school numbers there.
Right.
Number 4, Cade Klubnik, Clemson senior quarterback. A lot expected out of him. They think he may be the number 1 pick in the draft coming up. 3,600 yards, 36 TDs. A lot expected. That's 3 Clemson players in the top 9. Caleb Downs from Ohio State comes in at number 3, former Alabama player, turncoat. No, I'm kidding. 81 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 pass deflections, and the best safety in football. Caleb Downs, certainly a major reason why Ohio State is ranked as high as they are. At number 2, Texas Jr., Anthony Hale Jr., is a linebacker. He had 59 solo tackles, 16 and a half tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 4 forced fumbles for a very underrated Texas defense. A lot of why they're ranked number 1 in the country in both polls this year. And number 1, not a surprise to me, and you see this, you see why Ohio State and Texas are a lot of people's pick for the championship. The 3 best players in football play for those 2 teams. At number 1, Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State sophomore wide receiver, all everything. And look, he just, even when you key in on him, he opens it up because they've got so many other great players. But last year, even being keyed on, 76 catches, 1,315 yards, and 16 touchdowns in the Big Ten.
Wow.
Where it gets pretty cold up there, a little snowy. But Jeremiah Smith at number 1, I certainly don't have any complaints with that. I just think it's interesting in this day and age, Glenn, where you can transfer and NILs here, there, or the other. There's like 7 teams represented in the top 20, it seems like.
Yeah, it just seems
it's amazing.
Like, yeah.
Rich just keep getting richer.
That's true. And there's, especially one team, I didn't see anybody from Miami, no Florida State, no North Carolina, UNC. No. Just
no Michigan.
Yeah, no
surprising.
Michigan.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Crazy.
Well, you got to sell those magazines.
I think it was all SEC Big Ten except Clemson had 3, and I think Utah had 1. That was right. That was it. Wow, crazy. But anyway, that are the top 100 by the so-called experts out there, or at least the top 20. You can check out the rest of the list there on ESPN.com. Well, let's talk about some more of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show. Taco Bell. They sponsor the Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks here every single Friday when we have Coach on. But make sure you get out and support the fine folks there at Taco Bell. They absolutely support not just Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks, but all of the area here. So get out and support those Taco Bells, and you just get you a great meal anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve's Bike Shop. Guy's been in business for 1,000 years out there on 23rd Street, really since 1979. But look, you want one of the old traditional bikes, you want one of these new crazy electric bikes for people like me who can't be bothered to pedal.
Lots of accessories there.
Really hard.
Safety helmets,
absolutely,
gloves,
and one, and I know these guys because I've known Steve a very long time. The best service departments you're going to find anywhere down here. If something does go wrong with your bike, get it out to the folks there at Steve's Bike Shop. And I know he's excited because the county swim season kicks off or dives in, let's say, tomorrow night out at Frank Brown's. So looking forward to that. And his Mosley team, I know he's excited about it this year. Steve's been coaching swimming in this area forever and does the best job in the world with his bike shop. And don't forget about all of the great newbies, all 4 of them now, Glenn.
Yes, sir.
It's hard for me to complete. I mean, when it was a triple, I would try, but that quadruple's getting tough.
I don't even have to cross the bridge now. I can just go to the blunt.
It's a lot easier for you to stumble home now. So that's good.
I found out you can't get picked up for drunk walking.
But absolutely get out and support all the newbies. I mean, not only will you have a great time, but they do so much to support our local community. John and Charlotte are the best, and we love them here at the Coach James Hale Show. When we get back, everybody's favorite segment to interrupt the Alabama update. Glenn's even getting his phone out.
I'm ready.
You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
I don't like the guy either. I mean, gosh, he comes up with some of the craziest stuff, and it's usually anti-SEC, it's anti-Alabama, and it's sickening at times.
And now he's starting to play the game plan. He's starting to trigger some of those Alabama fans.
Yeah, well, he needs to have his security there because us Alabama fans, we don't forget. And Danny Cannell, that's right, buddy. If you're here on vacation, we're coming for you.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour and temps near 89. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the morning followed by possible thunderstorms tomorrow and a high 89. Likely thunderstorms and sprinkles Friday with a temp of 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh. You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVL2 Fort St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We have to say it.
And roll. One of these days, Glenn's going to have such dementia that he just joins in. I can only dream.
We were hoping for it this time.
There you go. Alabama update brought to you by the fine folks at Steverson Air Conditioning. You know, they tell us summer is coming to a close. I don't feel it.
Nope.
And because I have Steverson Air Conditioning, I can't tell the difference anyway because I can stay cool in the summer. I can stay warm in the 3 days of winter. It is absolutely wonderful. And, you know, here's what I love about them. Not just, you know, that they're local, but when you have an issue and you call them, they don't tell you, well, we can probably get someone out to you in about 12 days. You know, I mean, you don't have an air conditioner in this area. You need it in 12 minutes. And the fine folks at Steverson Air Conditioning, they will get out to you as quick as can be. They are honest, they are thorough, and they will put you exactly in the system that you need. Look, it may just be that you need a little service on your current unit, or if you do need a new one, they'll put in one that can save you money on your power bill.
And don't sell you more than what you need.
That's exactly right. That's why we deal with Steverson Air Conditioning, and we appreciate their sponsorship of Glenn's favorite segment, the Alabama Update.
Alabama.
Well, Alabama running back Jam Miller has opened up about his injury that sidelined him to start this season. He confirmed that he dislocated his collarbone during Saturday's preseason scrimmage and that it's feeling better, quote, now that it's back in place. Now, he was out. This is what I love about the NIL era of college football. He was out yesterday at the Skippy's Peanut Butter Crushing It Tour on the campus of the University of Alabama. Skippy's and Jam Miller were outside at 2 p.m. giving out peanut butter and competing in games with students.
Ooh.
You know, you never used to hear this because obviously you couldn't do any of this stuff with the college athlete, but it is kind of neat because Lord knows they do all of that stuff, you know. Usually it's tied with, hey, we'll give you a free pizza. Just sign up for this credit card at 80% interest. But, yeah, go ahead.
Dislocated your collarbone.
Yeah. Where can it go?
I know. But here's the thing.
Your throat?
I never heard of this. I'm sure it is. We should have had Dr. Mitchell call in and tell us this. But breaking it, I understand.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I guess it comes out of
It's all one piece.
Comes out of the socket. I guess it comes out of the socket up there, I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy.
At your shoulder.
I'm like you. Where did it go after you dislocated it?
Yeah. I don't know. But they found it. Head coach Kalen DeBoer said Miller underwent surgery Saturday evening after the injury and will miss some time. However, he is hopeful that Miller can return for the Tide's SEC opener. I didn't realize this was the first SEC game.
It's amazing what a little peanut butter will do.
That's right.
That's
See?
right.
Skippies. Peanut butter. There you go. Give us some money, Skippies. We just called you out. On September 27th, their SEC opener is against Georgia.
Ooh.
So that's a heck of a first game back after a collarbone.
That collarbone better be cemented down if he's playing Georgia.
Jam Miller, 5'10", 221-pound senior, was prepping to be Alabama's primary rusher. He had 668 yards on 145 attempts last year. I think, look, they've got a deep running back room. This is why fans were very upset that Justice Haynes left in the offseason, because what if something happened? And look, I understood it from Haynes' position. We didn't use him right last year, but, you know, Alabama's going to have to lean on kind of a running back by committee approach. They have sophomore Richard Young, sophomore Daniel Hill, who really only ran for about 200 yards last year. Again, a lot of that was taken up by Haynes, who is now gone. So they're going to have to go young, but, you know, obviously if you're Alabama, it's next man up, and, you know, hopefully
they say they're ready.
We will find out for sure, but certainly not what you wanted to hear to start the season, although I guess based on their schedule, it's probably better to be out now than when you get into the meat of the SEC schedule. Here was something that was interesting, let's say, hilarious, infuriating. All of those words can often be described of Stephen A. Smith at ESPN. And Stephen A. Smith suggests that if Alabama has a 2025 similar to its 2024 and opinions sour on Coach Kalen DeBoer, he has a fix, Glenn. And that fix is Coach Deion Sanders. Now, look, I think Deion did a good job at Jackson State. I think he's done a good job at Colorado. There's obviously some things that could have gone better in both. What coach wouldn't say that? But he's certainly turned that team around. He's certainly turned interest around. He brings a media circus wherever he's going to go.
Right.
And you would think he could recruit, which he's shown that he can do. But come on. Deion Sanders at Alabama, can you ever see that happening?
I'm not sure. You know, when he went from Jackson State to Colorado, he found out that you need to have offensive and defensive linemen.
Yeah.
You know, just skill players not going to work, and you got to have the right fix for the kids' culture getting along with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
To go there, he would certainly draw people. And everything, and he's very knowledgeable about, especially about defense. And so, will they give him a break? I'm not sure.
See, here's the thing. I actually don't mind the idea that you bring in somebody, you know, in this day and age where everything is about constantly recruiting, not just high school athletes, but transfer athletes. That makes sense. And look, his brand is big. That's good. I think the issue is going to be, look, when you went from Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer, the biggest thing that was an issue last year was that DeBoer, you could tell, had played in or coached in a conference where he didn't have to be up for the, quote, off weeks. Right? He won the big games out at Washington, and he could get away with playing the Stanfords and, you know, the things like that. If you look at what he did a year ago, he beat Georgia. He beat Auburn. I mean, he won the big games and looked good into them. The only big game he didn't win last year was Tennessee. But the games that he lost outside of that, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. And so, to me, that's the same problem Deion brings. He's not that great X and O, preparation kind of coach. I mean, remember, their collapse against Stanford last year was epic. I mean, they were up huge at the half. Everybody turned the game off and missed one of the greatest comebacks of the season. That was Stanford, for crying out loud. I think Mississippi State could beat Stanford, and State can't win an inter-squad game. But it's one of those things where if you're looking at it actually logically, if you're going to coach at Alabama in the SEC, you have got to have somebody who not only brings attention and can recruit and can win the big games, but they've got to be able to win those lesser games. That's the problem with DeBoer right now, and that's why I'm so interested to see if he's learned that from last year to this year, because he had no problem getting them up for the big games, but you've got to be up every single week in the SEC, and I don't know that Deion adds to that.
With a name like Alabama, you're going to get people's best, so you have to be prepared for that. And I think the way Nick did it was he didn't worry about the other team; he worried about how they were going to perform.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to play against us. We're not playing against you.
Absolutely. Well, Nick Saban's having some fun with Greg McElroy. Of course, McElroy a few weeks ago said he had heard from somebody in the know that Saban would be interested in a return to the sidelines. Of course, that just fueled social media.
Oh, my God.
Which never, met a story it wouldn't exploit. But Saban eventually came out and said he's not eyeing a comeback. And, so anyway, he came out on that at the Nick Saban Legacy Awards on Monday and says, I really don't know where that came from. He goes, Greg McElroy played quarterback for us. And if he had done something like that when he was a player, he would have gotten his bleep kicked. Saban, of course, cracked a smile after that, and the crowd roared in laughter. But, I do think it was odd, that McElroy would come out with something like that, because I just, I think with Saban, look, there are guys who can't ever turn off the coaching. Saban appears to really be enjoying what he's doing.
Right.
And a guy like him is one of the guys I always felt like he knew when it was time, and it was just time.
Well, I think that the transfer portal and NIL are just more than you can fathom. That's taken toll on several basketball, Division I basketball coaches.
It's not what they got into.
Right.
And, life is too short, and these guys who've made good money, I'm glad they make good money, but, now they can kind of step away from that and just be like, this isn't what I signed up for.
Yeah, I think he's having the time of his life doing the college game day show. And then, of course, he has more spare time to be with his family.
Yeah, absolutely. So. I think Miss Terry'd probably want him to get back out there. She's probably bugging her at home.
Don't you have something to do?
Exactly right. Well, I want to thank Steverson Air Conditioning again for their sponsorship of the Alabama Update here on the Coach James Hale Show. Make sure if you're having any kind of issues with your air conditioning unit, make sure you call the fine folks here at Steverson Air Conditioning. Don't forget today, Spaghetti Day at J. Michael's Restaurant.
Absolutely.
Need to get out there and get that. Put that bib on Glenn. Watch him just slop up that skitty. Dr. Chad Mitchell, if you've got any kind of injury, see the man who has been dealing with all the athletes in this area for over 25 years, and that is Dr. Chad Mitchell. Dr. Chad Mitchell. Maybe you can fix my speech impediment there at Orthopedic Associates. And then, of course, Big John, we talked about it. You get yourself in a little bit of trouble at home. You need to get out of that doghouse. How are you going to do that?
If you want to take ownership of that recliner again, here's what you do. You go to David Adamson Designer Jewelry. You have a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry designed. Get it ready. And when football season finally gets here and gets rolling, you give it to her and grab that love seat and take it all, and it's the only way you're going to get out of trouble. And all you got to do is go to, and while you're there,
yes, sir,
free jewelry inspection and free jewelry cleaning. Gold and silver's at an all-time high.
Yes,
if you're a little short on cash, that's where you want to take your gold and jewelry, because they give you better prices for it than these pawn shops and places like that. That's David Adamson Jewelry, 830 Highway 77 in Glen Haven.
I thought for a second there you said free jewelry. Okay, I was up for that. But no, you'll feel like it's free out there with all the discounts that you get at David Adamson Fine Jewelry. And we get back, we're going to talk a little Auburn. We're going to talk a little Florida State. How many national championships has Florida State found in the last hour? Yeah, we'll find out next. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Wanted to reach out and smack someone?
Sit your ass down and shut up!
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
You've got to have a bad game at some point.
Feel the burn.
This is unacceptable at the University of Alabama!
The Red 70s studio line.
This could go 7 games.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get it again.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour and temps near 89. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the morning followed by possible thunderstorms tomorrow and a high 89. Likely thunderstorms and sprinkles Friday with a temp of 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. Score 50-cent wings during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50-cent wings. And $5 pitchers during live games only at that Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jell-O shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at that Cajun Place.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction, 850-740-3815, or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
The number one SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle! Hey! Martha, Kenny, James, Jenna, everybody else. I always love that, you know. She says all those Auburn fans, and he names 4. But, yeah, there's more than that here. We absolutely love the Auburn update here. Brought to you by Beef O'Brady's out there in Lynn Haven. Pat Perno and the crew, they do a wonderful, wonderful job.
They do.
Great food, TVs everywhere, and the most important thing, the friendliest staff you're going to find anywhere around here. After you've gone out to get you some jewelry there at David Adamson, go see Pat and the crew at Beef O'Brady's and thank them for their sponsorship of the Auburn update. I only have one thing, Glenn, then we're going to pass it over to Florida State, but I just saw this. We've had some fun today with Auburn claiming 7 additional national championships, and we've been swearing this is real. This is how real it is. They have put these as signage up at Jordan-Hare. So when you get your first SEC opener or whatever, home opener at Jordan-Hare, of course they got, on the road at Baylor to start, you will now have 9 national championship years on the signage around the ring in the stadium. So this is every bit as real as you can believe. So, well, anyway, before we get to FSU here, Glenn, we need to get to the phone lines here and talk to, who are we talking to this morning here, John?
Auburn's just making up national champs.
Mr. Van.
Yo, what's up? It's Kyle Van.
Hey, Kyle. What's up, buddy?
And hey, what's up? I'm with Justin Nyland. We're on our way to a job site to check something out. We just wanted to call
TK Vandy
and say that nobody really cares about Auburn.
Watch it.
Are we just making up national championships? They're just making up national championships. I want a ring. Yeah, I want a ring. 1902. Are we going to Central Florida?
Hey, don't be talking about my senior year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was Glenn's senior year of high school. I don't know if y'all heard while you were on the phone. They're actually putting these on the ring in the stadium, and they're actually going to acknowledge these at Jordan-Hare, all 9 of their new national championships.
That's what happened with old people's memory. That's all it is. Yeah, I won 9, 10, 11. Well, I won 9, 12, and 14 of them. I mean, back in my day, all I'm saying is that sounds like, that tracks with typical Auburn fans. And look, I love Steve and Elizabeth. They're like my second parents, and I love Craig too. They're diehard Auburn fans. But look, let's be real. Okay, know what? Nobody cares about Auburn, and let's talk about high school football. We got Bay, Arnold, Mosley, Rutherford.
Yeah.
I mean, this show should be consumed with that, because right now I'm excited. You notice that Kyle will quickly tell you how to run your own show.
Well, to be fair, I'm just sitting in holding down this debacle. But,
there's a hurricane out there somewhere, so James left town.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, anyway, Auburn fans, Auburn fans, that is TK Vandy Roofing. No, I'm just kidding. They will absolutely do a wonderful job.
Football the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
Hold on, I got 6 more minutes to put my foot in my mouth, like I normally do. Kyle thinks him calling in is good for business.
Well, y'all certainly do a great job with your business.
No, you 100% do. Absolutely. So like you said, I mean, it's a huge, huge weekend for Bay County football like that. Who do you like in those two games? You going to go with the chalk here? Or, well, I guess the Bay-Arnold game's pretty tough to pick here.
No.
Well, unless you're Glenn.
Johnson, you take that, bro.
I'm not. It's not hard for me to pick it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Bay County's going to win.
There we go.
Here we go.
So here's two things that I'll point out.
All right.
Bay being a younger team, and now they've grown into where they're at right now. I'm really impressed with where I think their capabilities can go in their district. But on the other hand, Jason Griffin, I mean, he's done a great job out there. I really do think that team that they have out there, even losing Mac Jones going to Bluntstown, which, by the way, that probably needs to be looked into. But it really, that team is I think they're better than last year's team.
Wow.
I think they've got a year under their belt. They're looking a lot cleaner. I really do think that Arnold is going to come, and they've got something to prove. And it's the battle of the bridge, boys.
Hey, are you going to be the Bay County High School Trade Commissioner?
We need someone.
I think we need one with all these moving parts. We need
a lot of moving parts.
Call Nick Saban. You know, we got to get this figured out.
Do you think they asked me to be on to be like quiet and not voice my loud mouth mouth
guys,
of the South?
Every time Kyle's on this, I'm texting him, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
Hey, listen, when I was coaching him, I had to say that a lot.
One of them ready, fire, aim kind of guys. Yeah, I got it.
Hey, trust me, Coach. Like I said last time, I wasn't no peach to deal with, so I appreciate you putting up with me. And by the way, it's Glenn Manley's practice field. I'll tell you that. Okay?
Thank you. I agree 100%.
All the grass on the field will be Glenn Manley grass.
I texted Coach the other day. I was like, me and Justin are going to buy a big old boulder, and we're going to, like, put it right in front of the bridge when you walk over, and we're going to paint it. So everybody has to touch it, and that's going to be the Manly boulder.
I like it.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I can't take that away because it's a donation.
Well, I appreciate it. You know,
So, hey, Coach, I was just going to go back to the game real quick. Man, I'm super excited about, what is it, Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday is Bay Arnold. Friday is Mosley.
It's going to be popping.
Man, I hope they pack the stadium out.
Yeah.
I was asking both coaches if there's any kind of residual tension from last year's game, because that was like, that was tough.
Yeah, that was tough.
And it put Arnold back on the map out there. Because, Coach Griffin first in-county game, and what was it, a one-pointer?
Yeah, it was 7-8.
Man.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if those boys are going to be froggy on
I think they are going to be froggy, and I think there's a lot more tension. I'm not sure I really helped last Friday with everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's been a few extra things that may make this a big deal game, but yeah. And look, you don't need to make this any bigger. It's Bay Arnold, for crying out loud. I mean, this is a big game.
The Battle of the Bridge.
That's right.
There you go. When you guys,
and the other thing is Mosley, Rutherford. Mosley's Mosley right now. What TJ's done over there. I mean, he's created like a college culture in high school. A college experience in high school. I mean, he's got 150 kids under his belt right now. And Rutherford is building brick by brick, and everything Coach Floyd's doing. Justin and I talk about this all the time. Man, we love what Coach Floyd's doing. He's the right man for the right job, and he's got, his biggest. It's not he don't have talent. It's that my biggest worry about Rutherford is the depth chart. Because if you look at the way they played against Mosley last year, they kept up with them. You can hang for and then the middle of the third quarter, it just starts to kind of, so their depth chart. They're not dressing 65 guys.
So what's the win in that game for Rutherford? If they don't, not the score, but what's the win for them?
Oh man, a win for them is to if they go through that whole game, keep it close to half, no turnover or minimize the amount of turnovers, execute just the little things. If they can back decision making, 100%. Because Jaleel, he had some issues against Freeport. But man, I mean, they got some really good guys on defense, like Braylon Hurd. Watch out for him. And I really do think he's chippy, bro. He'll come across you.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You are listening to the Kyle Vandergriff and Justin show here on this Wednesday morning. But no, I mean, seriously, guy, we do need to get into this real quick. I'm going to keep y'all on because I know this should be fun too, but we do need to get into a bit of a Florida State thing here. So what are our thoughts on the Noles this year? I mean, do we bounce back? What are we looking at? We can't be 2-10 again, can we?
No, absolutely not.
7 wins. What do you think? 6-7 wins. Our strength of schedule is like 70th in the nation.
They're predicting
7 games. Right?
They're predicting 8-4. And then they're saying that our losses will be Alabama, Clemson, Florida, and Miami. So, and then
that tracks.
Yeah, and then they said we're supposedly going to the Pop-Tart Bowl and playing the Big 12 runner-up. So, who knows? You never know. That's why you have to play them.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll see what goes on with that.
I don't know. I'm not sold on Castellanos. He runs his mouth more than I do, and that's a lot.
Well, you're not getting. Well, you may be getting paid $800,000 a year. But,
there you go.
So anyway, but he, here's what's funny.
But
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but I mean, he did do some damage to us last year when he was up at Boston College. I mean, the boy's got talent. This whole portal thing, I just don't. I don't know. Not a fan.
Well, the other thing too is, he does have a offensive coordinator that knows how to beat Bama, so that's one thing. And his escapability. His escapability will help the offensive line. It does not as glaring when you can escape like Jordan Travis did. So, that helps a lot. So we'll see what goes on with that.
Yeah, I think 8-4 would be a great season for Florida State coming back.
Well, you only have to win 3.
No, I think you're right. Guys, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Good luck out on the job site today. Enjoyed y'all coming in and firing shots here. We always like talking to you guys. And
hey, we just wanted to take over for a little bit.
Hey,
we'll let you take it back.
I love
thanks.
it.
We appreciate
I love it, man. And I'm sure they're going to love the Gator updates we have here.
Love you, Wildcat.
Yeah, Kyle Vandergriff and Justin hacking the show here.
There we go. What a duo, right. The dynamic duo.
Absolutely right. That's how you get down the road right there. Call in and take over.
Those guys,
I love those guys.
Those guys gave 100% every game. I'm telling you.
I love it. I love it. And they're right. I mean, it's high school football week for crying out loud, But I do want to make sure that, we talked a little Florida State. I know we don't have much time there, but I do want to thank Newbies for the 72-second Florida State update today. Here, if you got something real fast.
Here's the thing too. The athletic director Michael Alford has been on the baseball committee to select teams 23, and his time is up 27. But this year he will be the director of the selection committee.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Congratulations.
All right.
And when you get into
make sure we host a regional. All right.
Yeah, you go. Castellanos is on the watch list for Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, which you think is really great, which it is, but there's 62 names on that.
I was going to say, I don't understand. I mean, the watch list should be every quarterback in the country.
Right.
Time.
Then the athlete Jalen Lucas is on the comeback player of the year watch list, but there's 75 players on that right now. So, but here's the thing. Sebastian Janikowski and Deion Sanders were named to the all-time All-American team by AP Wire. And then in Florida State all-time, they're Janikowski's number 26, and Deion Sanders is number 1.
Wow.
So congratulations.
I love it.
And we'll see what goes on with that.
Well, we got to pivot across the state here down to Gainesville because coming up next, we got Mark McLeod to talk a little Florida Gators here. Glenn, take us out.
Well, this is 104.3, Panama City, Florida State, Florida State, Florida State.
Woo!
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red boils, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
You don't know what his problem is. But it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
That don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
When you got 90,000 people all chomping at the same time.
The Florida Gator Update with guest Mark McLeod. Insider information you can't get anywhere else. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Gators! I couldn't get Glenn to do that one either. He's on top of his game today.
I am.
Can't lure him in.
He's a hater.
He's a Gator hater.
He's Gator bait. He's been a hater all day.
Well, I absolutely love Wednesdays because we get to talk to the local boy who made good, Mark McLeod. Mark, how are you doing on this Wednesday?
Hey, doing well, Brian. Coach, good to be on with you guys.
You know, there's a hurricane somewhere way out in the Atlantic, so Hale's probably in Idaho by now, but... you know, that's what it is. But we're going to soldier on here. So, Mark, as we get started, I saw a story that normally doesn't seem like a big deal in the SEC, but I saw that Florida announced they had sold out of their entire allotment of season tickets for this season. And when you consider that in reference to where we were 12 months ago, what a turnaround for the Gators.
It really is. It really is. That's a great point. Because you look for several years now, Florida struggled through a few coaches here, and you've had some difficulty filling out the stadium. I mean, everything's higher now. The anticipation for the team, where were they going to finish within the SEC, let alone the top 25, if they were to finish in the top 25. And it's just been a rough road. But this year, I think Florida fans are on board. I think, as you mentioned, the turnaround last year and what happened when things seemingly should have gotten worse after September. It got better. It got better, and it got better without Graham Mertz at quarterback.
Right.
It got better with injuries to two other key players, and then an injury for 2 games to another player. It was just. It was just a strange year, but it speaks to what Billy Napier said from day one, Brian, and that is we have to change the culture here.
Yeah.
He was that, and he told us after year one, he said probably the biggest surprise to him, being a Southern guy, growing up in Georgia, and knowing a bit about knowing the SEC, knowing a bit about Florida because of that Georgia-Florida rivalry. He said, that was the most surprising thing to him, and lo and behold, that's what we saw last year, front and center, and you've seen that this year because Florida didn't have a mass exodus of guys transferring out, as we heard in late September, early October of last year.
Absolutely right, and you talked about. Without Mertz and without other players, and, Mertz ended up going on being drafted, which a lot of people didn't see. But obviously things turned around with the prospect of DJ Lagway and his talent, and then what he showed on the field has certainly got a lot of interest in Florida for this year. A lot of hype around that. Of course, he's had some setbacks here during the offseason. He'd been banged up a little bit, but I just saw that he was back at practice. Talk a little bit about kind of how he's doing with that and how they're bringing him along, being a little banged up as they get ready for the season opener.
Well, he's no Glenn Manley, but he's good. He's really good.
He may be a little faster than me, I'm not sure.
A little taller.
Yeah, I know that for sure. That's a given.
The thing that they've done, and this has been an area where, you go back to SEC Media Days, guys, that there were media guys there that weren't convinced he was going to even start the season. And look, there's still some doubt with some people as to what's going to happen in game one. Does he start? Does he play a few series and then they pull him? How do they manage it? And I think that's been the whole thing. It has been it's been a bit of a crisis in the management of DJ Lagway, dating back to the injury last year. Look, this isn't something that just happened in the spring. This is we're talking about last year because, guys, if you remember, and this is where I go back to talking to Gator fans and other my media colleagues and say, guys, no. This didn't start in the spring. This started last year. They started kind of regulating him and taking and doing some different things with him during the season last year on the week of practice leading up to a game. And but when you go to the spring, it was because people weren't seeing him out there, or a lot of comments from guys who were watching practice and giving information to guys like me. Oh, DJ's not out there. He's not with the 11 on 11. Well, now you're seeing it, and this is what Napier said. Look, we have a schedule, and we're hoping the schedule comes together. There are no setbacks, and that appears right now, guys, to be exactly on the surface as for what's happened, because he did participate in 11-11 the other day, although he didn't participate in the full scrimmage, the full speed scrimmage, but he was in the 11-on-11 drills. He did a lot of different things. It was very good. What they saw, that the throws were good. One of my sources that I talked to said, "Man, he's got it. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's dropping passes downfield." So I think, to answer your question in a long answer, but I think you've got to go back to last year, guys, as to when this actually happened.
Yeah. Listening to Mark McLeod here on the Coach James Hale Show, ESPN Northwest Florida. Mark, I'm going to ask you to put on your prognosticator hat here, a little bit. And that's a big word, Glenn. But I don't know what it means, but we're going to do that anyway. Mark, if Florida has the season a lot of people are hoping for, kind of that 9-3, maybe even, stretch out at 10-2, possibly get into the playoffs thing. Obviously, everything is about Lagway, the way it is about all quarterbacks. But let's say that they have this season. What is the name that maybe we're not thinking about right now that is going to be key in helping Florida get there outside of DJ Lagway?
Wow. I think there are several names, to be honest with you. I really believe if you look on the offensive side of things, it looks like Dallas Wilson is probably going to get the start at wide receiver. Okay. No surprise, a 5-star kid. But you heard Billy Napier say the other day, talk about Vernell Brown III, another freshman, and he said he's going to play. This kid has done enough. He's proven enough to us that he's going to play a little bit. How great will that be? I don't know. But I think offensively, you're looking at what they've got to do: keep Jaden Ball and Jacoby Jackson healthy, as well as DJ Lagway. But also, they they feel like they're going to have a little bit of development with the tight ends. Hayden Hansen is back again. This is his third year. Tony Livingston's back again. Mir Jackson, after playing a little bit as a freshman last year, they feel like they're going to get some help there. And they brought in a transfer from one of the military academies who can block, big guys. So they're hoping for a little bit more with the tight end position this year. And then defensively, I think, I think the linebacker room is really lining up to be pretty sweet for Florida. And it's been a long time since we've been able to say that. You've got Pup Howard transferring in from South Carolina, who played last year at Florida. Of course, Miles Graham and Aaron Childs, both Under Armour All-Americans 2 years ago, played a bit as freshmen last year, but have really stepped up in the spring and the fall camp, and they have looked very good. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Childs. Graham, we've been hearing good things about Graham since last year, but Childs, we're really starting to hear some things about him. Jaden Robinson, Lake City, Columbia linebacker, is now a junior. And then I think one other position, guys, the edge position, it's kind of rotation. With Tyreek Sapp, Cameron James has really come on strong. But don't forget, they got George Gumbs Jr., who will probably start at the jack, but he can move over there and do some things. And then L.J. McCray, who's banged up right now, they hope to get him back. But they've been talking a lot, Brian, about Jaden Woods, a freshman from Kansas. And all the players are saying, this guy's a freak. He's not a freshman. He acts like he's playing out there like he's a seasoned veteran. Wow. And that's coming from several players.
That's outstanding, and you're going to need that kind of production from those young guys. And I mean, it's not the way it used to be, where you waited around for a guy to hit their senior year or their fifth year to depend on them. These freshmen are coming in at 18, 19 years old, and they're having to deliver if you're going to be any good. I mean, we've seen it. We've talked about Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith last year, Alabama with Ryan Williams. So hearing that, Florida's got that kind of talent, certainly at the receiver position out of freshmen, that should be really, really good. We're going to kind of head to a break here, Mark, and then come back with more from you, more about the Florida Gators here, but definitely wanted to talk about that Cajun Place. You can go watch the Florida Gators there at that Cajun Place. Again, during football games, 50-cent wings and the best wings you're going to find down here. Get out to that Cajun Place. Dr. John Ward, I'm sure he's listening intently to Mark McLeod here as a Gator fan. Dermatology specialist. Look, skin cancer is no joke. It will affect 1 in 5 people. Don't become a statistic. Get out and get yourself checked. If you're listening to us right now, Dr. Ward has an office in this listening area for you, 8 local convenient locations. Dermatology specialists, don't become a skin cancer statistic. Don't forget about Steve's Bike Shop there. You want to get one of them old style bikes, you want to get an electric bike, you want to get your bike worked on, you want to talk Bay County swimming, get out to Steve's Bike Shop there on 23rd Street across from Sam's Club. They have been in business since 1979. And Turf Pro Pest Control, Patrick and the crew will have your yard looking just as good as Ben Hill Griffin Field there at Florida. We come back, more with Mark McLeod, more about the Gators, more of everything. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Read the headlines. You've seen the highlights.
Highway robbery!
But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's a baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Wednesday. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour and temps near 89. Tonight we will have clear skies and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the morning followed by possible thunderstorms tomorrow and a high 89. Likely thunderstorms and sprinkles Friday with a temp of 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Better buckle up, Buttercup. There are no participation trophies here, just pure sports. The Coach James Hale Show live from the Jane Michaels Studios.
Gen Z snowflakes.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back into the Coach James Hale Show. Brian Haddad sitting in for Coach Hale with Dr. Glenn Manley and the Wildcat. And we are joined, as we are this time every Wednesday, by Mark McLeod. And Mark, outside of listening to you on this fine product or this program, whatever the heck this is, I'm not even sure half the time, but how else can people listen to you?
On the Glenn Manley Show.
There we go.
Well, they're, man, that audience is vast. I will, big word.
Yep.
No, blitzsportsradio.com. I'm doing some things for them now, and have a column I'm putting out today about college football later this afternoon, and on X at McLeod Live.
Outstanding. All right, I got to get your opinion on this because we've gotten 30 minutes of gold out of it at least today. Auburn now has 9 national championships, Mark. And, originally I said, I was like, is this April? Is this the Onion? And now I've read they're actually putting them on the ring in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So, they're leaning into this thing. Obviously we've had some fun with it, but, what are your thoughts on this, and how many will Florida have by the end of the day?
Where did this start? You got to be kidding me.
It's crazy.
2025, and now you're worried about it?
I know it.
I don't get it. Last week, Georgia hoisted a banner in their arena celebrating their 2025, basketball, NCAA basketball appearance. You got to be kidding me. I guess Florida should go back and claim the 1984 national championship because I'm not sure there's a team in '84 who could have beat them. I know BYU got it, but there's no way BYU would have been able to keep up with the speed and size of those Florida guys.
Well, Middle Tennessee just claimed the horseshoe throwing national championship, right along with our equine classes.
I won a pickleball game once.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It's one of those things where it's like either the banner company is the greatest mafia in the country right now or something. I don't know what's going on, but
get them made at Almega.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Mark, I got to ask you one more question too.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Are y'all going to do like Florida State and put in more sky boxes and take away from the general public?
What they're doing, Coach, that's a great question because I was asked that last week by Gator fan. As a matter of fact, from Panama City, a guy from Panama City emailed me or messaged me on X, and what is happening is there are certain areas right there where they are not meeting the American Disabilities Act the specifications.
Right.
So what they're having to do is go in there and they're going to take an area and say, we need more seating for the disabled, for wheelchair access. So that's what they're doing. They're taking some areas out and they're providing more access to wheelchairs and to people with disabilities.
Yeah, that's, really people don't understand that, but that's exactly what happened to Florida State. They had to go in there and do the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida has an area, a large area actually, in the south end zone where that is, and I believe they have an area in the north end zone as well. But this area where they're going now, apparently Tinkerbell's here, but apparently the area they're going now is with it's going to be, I believe, don't hold me to this, but I believe it's under the skybox area there where there's going to be more of that available. There's very limited of that right now. And again, those will take 2 seats for, what would typically be 2 seats for wheelchair access. So it will be a reduction. It's going to be a change there, but I kind of want to see it happen, and I guess it'll happen soon.
It needs, it needs to happen. People don't, realize what, they've made it. Even Tommy Oliver's more accessible now for that.
Oh, okay. Good. Hey, special teams. How about that, Coach? Did you see the coaches all SEC team?
I did.
You had both. You had Trace Mack, the kicker, on that unit, and long snapper Rocco Underwood, who's been snapping for 4 years at Florida. And of course, both those guys redshirt. One Smack's a senior, but Underwood is a redshirt senior. So again, 2 veteran guys, and guys, total 8 Florida players made the coaches all SEC team. And we talked about that. The 2 of us plus that other guy who's always absent have talked about that. And we remember in years past, guys, coaches all SEC team. What, last year, the year before, there were like two Florida players on it, 3 Florida players on it, and now you've got 8, and that's a good sign.
I love players named Rocco. That's a football name.
Yeah, it is. Your long snapper, though, is he on the? I forgot the name of the thing. The watch list for the long snapper.
He is.
Yeah.
So. Yes, sir. You're absolutely correct. Yes, he is, and he's also there are 5 Florida players on the watch list for the Senior Bowl in Mobile. Wow. So that came out this morning. I received an email on that from you.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about one of the things that I looked up is they have the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, and Castellanos is on it, but he's only one of 62 you're watching for right now. So there happens to be 14 from the SEC, by the way.
Oh, shocking. Yeah. Mark, I did want to pivot to that. I read this because I know Hale always makes a big deal out of tradition and uniforms and this, that, or the other, but I did see the story that Florida is going to don the old classic homecoming jerseys there for Mississippi State, who I think will set a record this year. I think we're 12 teams homecoming game this year. We're so bad, but I did see that, and do you think this is something that's a good thing, something different, something fun, or will it be because after running the gauntlet of LSU, Miami, Texas, Texas A&M, there's not going to be any regular jerseys left?
Yeah. It's all about the money.
There you go.
Guys are already pitching those to the fans.
Of course they
Gator
are.
Shop. I mean, already. But yeah, the Gator Sports Shop. But yeah, I love it. Honoring the 70s guys.
Yes.
You've got, and that's when I fell in love with Florida. That's when I was a snot-nosed punk from Lynn Haven, Florida. Starting junior high school, and I remember those uniforms, Wes Chandler, Terry LeCount, Tony Green, some of those guys, and those were some of my favorite uniforms. I mean, you had the UF on the helmet. It's good, but it's not great, but it's good. But those unis were fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I especially like the white tops with the blue pants, but that's not what you're going to get for homecoming. You're going to get the blue tops with the white pants. So.
Yeah, and I've never been a huge fan of that, but I've always thought if you're going to do it, a homecoming game is kind of neat, especially if you're throwing back to an older style, kind of traditional uniform like that. I get it, for that end of things.
Don't do the Gene Barlow and do it all orange.
No, definitely not.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's exactly right. For homecoming, you should throw it back to those guys and do something. And for a long time, guys, Florida was reluctant to do anything to honor those 80s teams that were under NCAA sanctions for recruiting violations and other violations. But I'm glad to see a couple years ago they finally did that, and it was our last year, and it was good to see. It was good to see. And Billy Napier welcomed that, and I think we need more of that as well.
Just less than a minute, Mark, really briefly. It's a hard question to ask, but quick thoughts on Anthony Richardson not going to be the starter, and Daniel Jones is? What in the world's going on up at Indy?
Yeah, did anybody see that coming? I mean,
oh, my gosh.
Anthony, God bless him, but, that's one thing that Dan Mullen talked about was that he's just got a long way to go. He's very raw as a quarterback coming out of Eastside High School in Gainesville, and he needed one more year at Florida under Napier. He really did.
Yeah.
There were just some things that in his game that were just inherently wrong. I thought there were three games actually when he was starting at Florida where he should have run the ball a little bit more, like 3-4 more times to keep the defense honest because his legs were fantastic, and then it kind of would have kept him from throwing the ball a couple which wasn't an entirely bad thing.
Mark, always enjoy having you. Glenn, thank you. Wildcat, thank you. Listen to the Sports Blitz this afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
There's entertainers and there's competitors.
That was not a shot at Shedeur Sanders. Shame on